What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug, and welcome to my WWE Clash of Champions 2019 predictions video. 11 matches on the card. Every title will be defended, and one match is not for the title. So, 10 title matches on this show, and one is non-title. I don't know what's on the kickoff, but, you know, I record these on Thursday, and things could change between Thursday and Sunday. Anyway, that's still a lot of matches for this show. So let's get right down to what those matches are and who I think is going to win, if you will. Now then, I would imagine, like most of these shows, they begin with the Cruiserweight title. I know it's very overlooked and understated, but that's usually where things begin, and that will be still your champion, Drew Gulak, versus Humberto versus Lince Dorado. And I think, again, I just don't see a competent challenger for Drew and that title. So, for the time being, he keeps that title. Maybe Kushida at some point, but as of right now, in this triple threat, I think that Drew retains that title. Now then, moving on to some tag team competition, playa. Holla, holla. We have your SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Big E and Xavier Woods, taking on The Revival. And we are so close to this whole thing with Fox and SmackDown and another supposed draft maybe in the next few weeks and a more hard version of the brand split, and the Revival are Raw guys. Top guys, but Raw guys. So I don't see the Revival winning those SmackDown Live tag team titles, even if Big E and Xavier have been off TV with injuries caused by the Revival and Randy Orton. I still think they retain those SmackDown Live tag team titles. Now then, these two individuals in the ring in this video right now. We have your Raw Tag Team Champions, Seth freaking Rollins and the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. And granted, it's no Nicholas, but they're Tag Team Champions. And they face off against the, I guess, somewhat unlikely, newfound tag team of the show-off Dolph Ziggler and the glorious Robert Roode. No more mustache, just, you know, full beard again for reasons, I suppose. Anyhow, the entire build for this show has been, oh man, how will Braun and Seth coexist as a tag team when later on in the same night they fight for the Universal title? Like, how will that work? And honestly, I think it won't work. There'll be some kind of a miscommunication or some kind of a, you know, I punched you, oh man, sorry, it happens, getting them all softened up for later on in the evening, and somehow, someway, they lose this match. Your new Raw Tag Team Champions, Ziggler and Roode. Because if they win and then go on later on in the evening, that just seems weird. Considering what we know about Hell in a Cell later on against The Fiend, why would they keep the tag team titles? It always seemed temporary to me. So, sure, why not have Ziggler and Roode as your Raw Tag Team Champs? There's worse options, so sure. They're both pretty good in the ring. Why not? Anyhow, your third tag team match, playa, of the evening is your women's tag team titles, and that is your champions, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Fire and Desire. And again, I just don't see anyone on the level to get a belt off of Alexa Bliss just yet. Never even mind Nikki, and I love Nikki, but I just don't see Fire and Desire being on the level to beat them. Like, sure, perhaps the Iconics could have that kind of a match and cheat to win. Curb Stomp. Perhaps you could actually have the Kabuki Warriors beat them and be great tag team champions for that division. In terms of your tag team competition, in terms of that level of competitor, I just don't see it happening. At least not yet. You know, perhaps in the future. But yes, Alexa and Nikki to retain. I don't know who takes those belts off of them. Perhaps a returning team of Bayley and Sasha is possible. But as of right now, they're both in their own title matches as such. So, you know, things happen. And Braun, after the Power Slam, 1, 2, and no, that was not enough. Sorry, Braun. Your mid-card titles, starting off with your Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style, going up against the A-lister, the King of Safe Style, The Miz, and obviously Shinsuke accompanied by Sami Zayn. And really, to me, this match is just them being petty, because I think that Miz will win for a historic tying 9th time. And who else? Who is the current reigning, most reigns ever IC champion? Le Champion, Chris Jericho. And considering their feelings on AEW at the moment and how petty of a company they are, not put it past them to put that belt on Miz out of spite and then lose it and then get it again for a 10th record-breaking time, because Miz is a company guy. He's not going anywhere else. Like when they had that thing a bunch of years ago where, oh, The Rock was the youngest ever world champion and then he left. Okay, now Brock is the youngest ever world champion and he left. Alright, Randy Orton, the youngest ever world champion, because Randy Orton is the company guy. Not going anywhere. That record stands with him. So yes, Nakamura, gonna lose here. Might win it back later, but gonna lose here. And I know you're thinking, well, how did they get rid of Sami Zayn? Obviously, Sami Zayn, a difference maker at ringside. And given what happened on SmackDown this week, it's very easy to get rid of Sami Zayn. Bong! The lights flicker. You don't even need Taker in the building. You tease Taker, Sami Zayn freaks out, runs away, and then that gives Miz the opportunity to beat Nakamura clean in the center. Or offer distraction, either way. And there was Seth retaining that Universal title. And apparently Shao Kahn is cashing in, because I had a very strange universe set up, and honestly, I kind of want to watch this now, because Shao Kahn is cashing in his Money in the Bank versus Seth Rollins. That is hilarious. I forgot I had that all set up because people didn't watch those videos, so, you know, it was what it was. Anyhow, let's continue and see if Shao Kahn here wins the Universal title, or if Seth manages to defend it, because, you know, Seth freaking Rollins. Anyway, your other mid-card title is the phenomenal U.S. champion, AJ Styles. Get that V-trigger. Versus the challenger, the Age of Alexander, in Cedric. And this match kind of came together strangely. And honestly, look, you've got the OC at ringside. It's AJ freaking Styles versus Cedric. Come on. AJ retains that one pretty handily. I don't see it going any other way. Now, granted, it should be a fantastic, should I say, phenomenal matchup. No doubts there. Those two can have some great stuff going on in the ring. And what was that, Seth? That was not great stuff in the ring. That was bad lucha things. Anyhow, so yes, AJ retains that U.S. title. When it comes to the women, we have your Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, the Man, versus only two count, versus the returning heel, Sasha Banks. Blue hair, Sasha Banks, doing it. And I say this a lot on this show, on these predictions. If you come back as a heel, and you have that grand return after a number of months, and your first big match you have back, you lose, then what was the point of coming back and turning heel? Sasha has to win this one. There could be shenanigans, there could be, oh, we're going to have a series of matches, but I think some way, somehow, Sasha has to win this one. Otherwise, what was the entire point of the return and the heel turn and everything else? Like, seriously, that to me is just, on paper, makes the most sense. So I say Sasha, your new Raw Women's Champion. Now then, on the flip side, on SmackDown, your SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, who's kind of a heel now because of Sasha. Or at least she's a heel who thinks she's a face, which is a great gimmick. I like it a lot, right? So she's defending against the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who wants that 10-time victory. She wants to be a 10-time women's champion, but the thing with Bayley is that Bayley has a habit of just kind of not getting it done on this grand stage. So if you want to solidify this Bayley heel turn, then you have Bayley get it done on this grand stage. Makes a lot of sense to me, but hey, who knows? So I think Bayley retains that title. And that brings us to the one match on the card that is not a title match. Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan, who got his first name back. Fantastic. Because as an announcer, I would imagine saying Roman and Rowan over and over again, gonna get him confused, right? So, Roman versus Rowan, it is no DQ. And that, to me, would favor Rowan, considering what happened on SmackDown. But again, it's the big dog. Make him look strong. And I would love a swerve here of Daniel Bryan getting involved somehow, in some way, perhaps costing Roman the match because he hates liars or whatever. But it's hard to bet against Roman Reigns here. So as much as I would love to see Rowan get a victory here, even cleanly, not going to happen, but I would love to see, actually invest in new characters, in guys who perhaps could use that push, and don't just build them up to feed them to Roman Reigns. So, fingers crossed, but honestly, Roman Reigns, don't bet against Roman Reigns. Seriously. I thought McIntyre could do it. McIntyre couldn't do it. So why expect Rowan to do it? So, Roman Reigns, gonna win, is what it is. Water is wet. Now then, curb stomp. He has a helmet. That's protection on Shao Kahn. What is happening here? 2. And no, only a 2 count. And then, before I get into the world titles, I would assume at some point on this show, we're going to see that 24/7 title get defended. They said every title has to be defended. So at some point, you're going to have a new 24/7 champion. I couldn't even wager a guess. They've had so many weird champions on that belt, I could not even begin to predict who might win that belt over the course of this entirely long show with 11 other matches happening. It's going to be a long night. Now then, your world title picture. And that is, pressing him. It's so hot. Kofi Kingston, your WWE champion, defending against the Viper, Randy Orton. And this is the second time defending against Randy Orton. They recreated that famous MSG spot boom drop on SmackDown. They've been hammering home this stupid thing all freaking month. And they've taken out any help that Kofi has. So, that being said, can Kofi get it done? Perhaps by himself, depending on what happens in the match earlier in the evening with those SmackDown Tag Team titles? I don't know. But, I've said again and again that I think the plan, at least originally, was to get that title onto Roman Reigns by that SmackDown October the 4th. And they would not have Roman Reigns beat Kofi because you want people to cheer for Roman. So you got to have a heel to transition from Kofi to Roman. And that heel could very well be Randy Orton. So yes, much like I predicted last time, I think Randy Orton wins this match with that RKO, ending the 150-plus day reign of Kofi. Great run. Fantastic. But I think at some point, they want Roman Reigns as the face of SmackDown on their show on Fox with that belt. So, to me, it's only a matter of time. But hey, we'll see. Now then, the main event, which will not have Shao Kahn in it, will be Seth freaking Rollins versus Braun Strowman, with the looming specter in the background of one Bray Wyatt. The Fiend, if you will. 2. And Seth gets it done against both Braun and Shao Kahn. That is madness. It's madness. So Seth versus Braun. Winner fights The Fiend at Hell in a Cell. In Hell in a Cell. And I feel like if they didn't put the belt on Braun last year when he was super hot and super over, putting the belt on Braun now seems kind of like, why bother, right? Like, he needs more of a hot build again. He's been squandered for a bit here. So I think Seth retains the belt, if it's a pinfall victory. I also see the possibility of the match not having a finish, of The Fiend appearing during the match, taking out both guys, non-finish, and then perhaps Hell in a Cell could be a triple threat. That could happen. Because if you want to have The Fiend, right, and you don't want to pin The Fiend, but you don't want to have The Fiend win the title, then you make it a triple threat, and therefore somebody else gets pinned, but not the Fiend. Anyhow, just my thoughts. I'm Attack Slug. Thanks for watching. More videos on this channel. You should watch them. And I'm out.